it comes to the other option, which is, as I said, it's free, it's completely free. And it's also, you can also do presentations there. It's not just for the quiz and this multiple choice and true or false, but it's this one is also a platform in order to help you to design interactive presentations. You can use it that one's also pools, also word clouds, as we did yesterday at the beginning with Mentimeter. They can also do open-ended slides and other type of slides in order to create a presentation that your audience can interact with live. And they also use their phone there. How do they do it? We'll do one later. But in order for you to see what is that about, AhaSlides, I'm going to show you this short video, just 1 minute. There we go.
But even the most engaging content can be lost in one-way presentations and static slideshows. Your hard work and ideas deserve to be heard. Introducing AhaSlides, an easy-to-use, cloud-based presentation platform that excites and engages your audience through interactivity, turning your presentation from a one-way delivery into a compelling, interactive conversation. Getting started is effortless. No downloads or clunky setup means you can start creating straight away. Enliven workplaces and classrooms with opinion polls, brainstorming, quizzes, Q&As, and more. Your audience can easily join your presentation using their personal devices, online, in person, or both. Collect live audience responses as you go and show off your in-depth engagement insights afterwards. Best of all, AhaSlides is free to use for smaller hangouts, with flexible, no lock-in plans available for larger events. Sign up for a free account today. Your aha moment awaits. AhaSlides, the joy of engagement.
The only disadvantage of that one, that while in Kahoot, you can have all the participants as you want without paying. For this one, I think if I remember right, it's up to 7 participants. If you have more than 7 participants, you have to pay for the premium. But if it's up to 7, you don't have to pay for any of the tools that it provides you with. So how to do it now? Then later, where I'm going to show you the app, but first we're going to do this presentation. So of course you have to sign up first, as you did with Kahoot, also with Canva, because the procedure is completely the same. So first of all, you start with a blank presentation, and then you will have on your right, you'll have this, and then imagine that you want to choose one of these 3, the type of quiz you want to use. So you can pick, for example, pick answer, and then you write a question here. Here it says, which country has the highest population? And then you write here the different answers. As always, you have to choose the right one, the correct one. Otherwise, your users, they do not know if they did it right or wrong. Then once you use it, you can also set the time here, time to answer. Here it's at 15 seconds. You can use the time that you want. And then also you have here reward points, the maximum and the minimum. You can, of course, always use it there. We'll see how to do it later. Then on the left side, you have all the slides that you are producing, that you are designing. First one, we already had it, which country has the highest population. Then right after that, they're always going to have the leaderboard. It's basically the same as you had with Kahoot. Every time you answer a question, you show your points, right? So here it's the same. And then for the second one, you want to do like a type answer, the same. You go here, you always have these options, and then you click on type answer. And then you just write a question, and then your students, your users, they have to write an answer. You can also choose which kind of answer can be the correct one, because when they answer, maybe it's a misspelling or something like that, but you can check it, and if the message is correct, you can also do it as correct, consider that correct. And then once the answer, you can pick the right answer, as I said. So what I was referring to was this one. Imagine the question was, what's the capital of Germany? And then they wrote it here, Berlin. It's obviously they refer to Berlin, but they misspell it. But you can, even though you can consider that as correct. Then we go, then once you finish, it's the same. When you go to share the participant, that would be their screen. They'll have to use the form, either scan this code, or they'll also have this pin as with Kahoot, or you can also send to them this link, this URL, and then they can access it directly. And then they'll have these options, right? Imagine that we were saying, this would be like a word cloud. I'm going to show you later. But then would be, where would you use gamification? And then they can enter the words. As I asked you yesterday, what's your occupation? And then you're writing educator, youth worker, mom, mother. So it would appear here as a word cloud. And then you can start doing the activity. Now we are going to try it out. So for example, this one, it's talking about gamification, but one thing that I didn't tell you before, it's that you can also import some presentations before or documents. So imagine that I wanted to do everything in this, on this application. So I could just, first it's that you have to save it as PDF. So that's why I wouldn't do it all here, because the presentation had video, so you couldn't include it here. But then you can, I'm going to show you how to do it. So you have all degree view here. Then you can organize it. Imagine that I want this one to be at the end. You just have to move it here. But as I wanted to know if you had any idea about what gamification is, I'll do the word cloud at the beginning. Then we close it. So if you want to import a presentation, see, we appeared this. And then imagine that I want to put this one, the PDF that I showed you at the beginning. We start at 5 past 10. So it will appear here at the end. If you want to show it at the beginning, just put it here. Okay, so now let's see how we can do this word cloud. So I want to introduce a new slide, and then you see all the kind of contents that you can use. It's appearing here. So as I said, I want a word cloud. So you have to click on pool and then select it, click on that. And then you have here your question. So we were saying, where would you use gamification? And then you can choose how many entries for the participant they can use, how many words, like, okay, I'll use it on my job, I use it, I don't know, to have fun, whatever you want to. Then you also have time limit here, but since it's a word cloud, it's not necessary. But if you want to set time, you can always do it here. But in this case, we're not going to use it. Okay, we delete it so that we don't have it twice. You see a school here. We have a participant. And then imagine that once I ask you, where would you use gamification? We start with the presentation. Okay, so we just go down with the same as we saw before. And then I want to do the quiz. And then you can do it here. The same as we did with Kahoot, but just as I told you, it's up to 7 participants. If not, you have to go on the premium. So now I want to ask, what's gamification? Then in order for you to see it, we're going to do a new slide, and then we go on quiz, and then we go on big answer. Then we go here. What is gamification? Then you have all the options here. You have only 3, but you can always add as much as you want. If you don't want to use more, so you just delete it. So what is gamification? Then you have these 3 options that I'll just do it like this. Doesn't make sense, but just for you to see. And then imagine the correct answer is this one. So you click here, mark as correct one. And then same, you have here the limit, the time limit. So imagine you just want them to have 20 seconds. And then the maximum would be 100 and minimum would be 0. Okay, so you can choose all of the settings here. And then once they are answering, they will appear here. Then you have again the leaderboard, because as I said, every time you're choosing one of the quiz, one of the polls, you have the leaderboard. Then, as we saw, you can also choose the type answer, and then you can write here the question, why is used gamification, and the answer I'm looking for is to improve students' engagement and encourage them. Okay, so I write that, but imagine I have a participant that is saying it's to improving students' engagement. I would consider that as correct too. Okay, so if you want to use more like, okay, it's not the two, so just like, improve, because someone did a misspelling, you can do it too. But otherwise, when they are answering, you can always check the answers. And if you consider they are right, even though you didn't write it here, you can select them as correct and you can change it. And that would be it. If you want to change the design, you also have the themes here. If you have to keep it blank, you can also do it. Just the colors, you have all them here. Party and meeting, you can decide all of them here. Then, if you want to see how it looks like before you save it, you go on preview. And then you can see both your screen. Well, okay, what's the sound? Okay, here was too loud. So you can see both your screen that you are presenting or the participant screen that would be on their phones. So they have to do the same as you did with Kahoot, right? So Isabel. And then you change the avatar, just like that. Then join the game. Okay, so we start the quiz there, and then you can check it before you share with your users. So why is use gamification? Then we just do to have fun. Then submit. Then imagine all the participants submitted it, and then I consider that that's not right. So they wouldn't have any point at all. But you can see here all the copy link, you can just click on that and then you can share it, or you can scan the code and we appear here during your whole presentation. Okay, now it's time to ask me questions. You see here that to have fun is not correct, so it would appear like this. Then you have the leaderboard, and we have Barbara also here, but none of us has any points, so we just both are first. Lucky us.